Hi Malachy, Rasim. Thanks for coming to BizTalk. That's my great pleasure having you.
How are you? Hi Max, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming. So let's start with a short intro for yourself.
Sure. My name is Rasim Aliyev. I am co-founder and CEO of Illustrators. I'm originally from Azerbaijan, and I'm coming from a family of filmmakers, and that's what basically drives my passion for creation of Illustrators, a recommendation platform for movie lovers. I now live in London, and we're working from here.
Hi, I'm Malachy McDonnell. I'm a former CFO. I now run a small advisory business, and I'm an investor in Raters.
Thank you. I'm sorry. What about Raters? Can we talk more in details about?
Absolutely. So Raters is a recommendation platform for promotion of digital products such as films, video games, ebooks, and other digital content. And the problem we're tackling is that the existing platforms for promotion of such products result in inferior value to advertisers, which result in poor return on investment, unclear financial performance in terms of the advertising budget spent, as well as lost opportunity revenue, as the existing platforms cannot accurately target the relevant users for the digital products. Take film industry, for example, where 40% of revenue is generated by digital channels, although only 14% of budget is allocated to them. And this problem exists across all digital products. So to tackle this problem, we decided to create Raters. So Raters, filmmakers and other digital products creators can run promotion campaigns which are shown only to the most relevant users based on our unique machine learning algorithms, comprising of over 95,000 variables that we have patented. These users can buy or rent movies online, or buy video games or books, for which we get a commission, and this way the digital products creators gain audience as well as additional revenue, which we report back to them. So across these two particular axes, so level of targeting of the users and level of performance insights provided to our clients, we believe that with sufficient user base, we can achieve better results even compared to the largest tech platforms that are currently available for this particular purposes. We are currently generating revenue from 4 core monetization channels: promotional digital products, display advertisement, premium accounts, and affiliate programs where users can buy movies from our platform, to which we generate commission. Our focus is obviously on B2B segment, and we forecast that it will be producing 80% of our revenue in long term, considering that this segment is more stable and more recurring, and bears lesser credit risk. We have also identified 2 additional non-core business revenue streams: patent royalties, which will kick in once we receive our patent, as well as other software development tools that we can license out to other companies in the same segment. Over 3 years of our operations, we have done a lot. We have developed the platform on iOS, Android, and web formats, and attracted a global user base of movie lovers. We're currently in the revenue generating stage, where we aim to expand our revenue by acquiring more users and clients. Also, in our plan for the next 2 years is to expand to video games market, which is obviously a huge market with a lot of potential, and it would work pretty similar to what we currently have for the films. Another milestone actually happened last month when we acquired a competitive movie platform in a non-cash transaction, and we're aiming to finalize the deal by the end of April. Thereafter, we will obviously aim to expand to other segments, as well as increase our revenue and hence profitability. So we have a diverse team of professionals with various skills and certifications, and we all cover significant core business aspects. And therefore, we make sure that the company works well across all the verticals. As you can see, a lot of our team members are coming from Ukraine. And at the moment, it's more important than ever to show our support to them and allow them to continue adding value to themselves and their families and to the country in general. So to utilize momentum that we have gained over the last year and to continue growing aggressively, we are currently raising £1 million. The idea is for over the next 12 to 18 months to get to the point where we can generate 5-digit monthly revenue. And with these figures, we would go to VCs and other funds for Series A funding. Obviously, the large part will be spent on research and development and marketing, as well as operations and patenting of our algorithms worldwide outside of US. One last thing to mention is that we are committed that at least half of this funding will be spent in Ukraine, which means that we will be playing a significant role in the contribution of country's economic recovery. That's it. Thanks for the presentation and looking forward to working together.
Thank you, Rasim. You can stop sharing if you want, so we can share some talk. What's the unique value proposition? Here are some competitors out there, even strong one.
Yep.
You are not broadcasting anyway. People come to the platform for probably watching maybe films, movie, and games. And I suppose games is going to be the big deal for the growing. So what's unique value proposition?
So unique value proposition. So just to clarify, users are coming to our platform not to watch movies, but to discover movies, and they watch them on Netflix, Amazon, and other platforms.
Okay.
Right. So our value proposition is the following. At the moment, when distributors or filmmakers are promoting their movies, they usually go to Facebook and Instagram and promote their movies over there. The problem that we're hearing from producers with whom we're working here in London is that the conversion and the targeting is very low in terms of what Facebook can provide, because Facebook doesn't dive deep into individual users' preferences, and therefore it cannot accurately estimate which users will like a particular movie, especially when it comes to diverse cinema. So obviously, when we are making a blockbuster or a Marvel movie, then obviously your reach is much higher. But what happens if it's art house or something more diverse? And then Facebook doesn't tackle it, but we do, because we're focusing on this particular niche. And we have, as I mentioned, over 95,000 variables across which we can target our users more accurately. And therefore, with a high conversion, will result in a better return on investment to the filmmakers, as well as provide them more in-depth analytics. If I can
somehow Instagram, Facebook, even Twitter, they can be your competitors somehow.
They are not direct competitors, but they are currently, from the business perspective, they are means, the platforms where this promotion is happening, just because there's no other platforms that can do it, that can accurately target.
And the difference is that you are capable to target.
Exactly. If I can share my screen one more time, please. So 2 pieces of our proposition, right? So first, targeting. As you can see on Facebook and Instagram and other major networks, they have a wider reach, but they have lower accuracy because the algorithms are not going into so much details. With us, we have a more efficient reach, and we ensure that all the campaigns, all the users that are targeted by a particular campaign are those users who will most likely like this film, and therefore the conversion to purchases or renting them online is much higher than what Facebook provides.
What can be, on average, a good conversion rate?
So what we are having at the moment is 10% to click. What Facebook provides with similar campaigns is at the moment is around 7 or 8. So already at this stage, despite having a relatively limited user base, we are already showing conversion, which is around 30% higher than if the same campaigns are launched on Facebook and Instagram.
I mean, Facebook, Instagram, I mean, their leverage is a huge network. Okay, Instagram comes from Facebook. They're a serious huge network in talks of billions, not even millions. How do you build up your network?
Well, basically, as any platform, we are data-driven. We are a data-driven business, which means that we definitely have to increase our user base because that's our main value driver. But while Facebook has basically pretty much everyone on it, regardless of their taste, we're focusing on the particular niches of films and from the next year on video games. And we're building the community of film lovers. Therefore, a priori, we are already focused on the film lovers. And thereafter, going forward, we are targeting them even further by individual movie tastes.
I mean, somehow you need to use Facebook and all these big guys as well to reach people, no?
Obviously, we do. Even on Raters, when you log in, there's a button called Login with Facebook. You can just do it with one click. It links your account. It links your friends who are already on Raters and gives you additional functionality. That being said, we obviously are running ad campaigns on Facebook, Instagram, Google, and other major platforms to attract more users who correspond to our criteria.
When it comes to the business model?
So from the revenue perspective, right, which is the most important one, the promotional digital products is the main one. So filmmakers come to us. Okay, let's take a step back here. Are you interested about how monetization works?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Monetization, right? Okay. So first channel, the promotional digital products, which is our main core revenue, right? So what happens is we have filmmakers are promoting their movies on the platform. We show them to the relevant audience of users. Once users click on them, we're generating revenue for per click, which at the moment is 10 pence. And therefore, it's function of two variables, number of users and number of movies being promoted. And therefore, as I mentioned, our focus for the next 2 years will be on increasing both of them, hence generating more revenue. Second channel is display advertising, which is usual ads or banners that you can see throughout the app if you're not a pro user. And this is a channel which is the most straightforward one. So you have a number of clicks, and here once again you are generating commission per click, generating advertising revenue. So it's this is a business model that has been in place for several decades now. Nothing really new in here. The third one is affiliate programs. So what happens is when our users are buying or renting movies or cinema tickets from our platform, we are generating commission from the sales, and it's usually between 1% and 8%. On average, it's about 4%. So again, the main driver is the number of active users, but also the clicks and purchases through our platform. And that generates us our third channel, which is a B2C channel at the moment. Well, it's a B2C channel because users are paying money for that. And the last one is premium accounts. So business model that is very common to project and companies like ours is called freemium, where users can access the basic features of the platform for free, but for a fee they can upgrade their account to the pro account. And by doing so, they get additional functionality in the app, such as getting detailed analytics in terms of movies that they have rated, most frequently rated directors or actors, and as well as some other benefits throughout the app, where they are shown higher, for example, on various pages. This is recurring revenue, so they can buy they can upgrade both on iOS and Android. At the moment, the prices are $2, like £1.5 per month, or $12 per year. So this is a recurring revenue, but it also falls into the B2C segment. So this is basically the four main core monetization channels that we are working across.
Thank you. Where do you see the major growth in gaming?
Gaming is definitely a huge market, especially like with the consumer spending there. So at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, the video games market is 2.5 times larger than the films market, just because the cost of the games and consumer spending habits. And we definitely want to tackle this market next. Nevertheless, here because the people who like movies, they're quite common, right? It's probably every second person, if not more. So here we have a larger target audience. We have tested a lot of our hypotheses. We have built a strong business foundation on top of the film promotion, and we definitely aim to expand to increase that. But now we will use the same knowledge that we have acquired there, the skills, and expand it into the video games, which we're hoping to start generate significant amount of revenue. That being said, two of our existing shareholders, their portfolio includes video games development. So we already have first corporate clients who would come to us for promotional video games once we expand to this particular market. And obviously all other channels remain the same, so they can buy video games online. The cost of video games in the developed market is around £80. So obviously the commissions there will also be much larger than when you're renting a movie for $4.
What's your major concern when it comes to scaling this business?
The major concern is probably to build the right marketing strategy that would support this growth, because obviously the field is very competitive, as you can imagine. To tackle it, we have a so-called growth hack, if you will. It's our focus on organic channels such as search engine optimization and app store optimization. So the way we do it is by correctly building the infrastructure of the website and the app and our app store presence and Google presence. We are able to secure a steady traffic of users that are coming to our platform without the need to spend additional money on the ads. And this, at the moment, around 2/3 of our traffic is coming from these organic channels. That obviously decreases our customer acquisition cost going forward when it's compared. And we use the ads, App Store ads, and Instagram and Google ads to boost this growth and to fuel it further. So with all these kind of segments in the marketing, we believe that we have a pretty solid marketing strategy that will be able to ensure a steady flow of users to us. But it's obviously the most major risk, the ability to attract users. And since we're a data-driven company, for us, that's a deal breaker. And therefore, we are focusing a lot of efforts there to do it right.
May I say you can have, for example, small producer, which do not have such a big budget. May I say you can have this small producer, the independent producer, for example, talk about films, they don't have so much money. They have very little amount of money. So can you help them to advertise having a much higher conversion?
That's what we are doing at the moment, actually, with the filmmakers here in London. Is that this person with whom we're working, he's making a movie in niche audience, in kind of niche movie segments about movies about war and art house, right? So, and at the moment, since our database is relatively limited at the moment, I think we have around 250,000 registered users. Small budget is not a problem for us because there's anyways not much where it can be spent. But for us, it's obviously shows the potential that, okay, once we start growing the user base and when we reach a critical user mass, we will be able to go to a larger players such as distributors or like business clients with a larger budget, since because we will have a larger user base to offer to them.
I think London.
I'm sorry?
London is the best place for you to be.
Absolutely. With BFI and general film industry, there's definitely a lot of opportunities, and we're already in this kind of community, and our existing clients say that they would be happy to introduce us to others once we have a larger user base. And we're actually, it's interesting that over the last several months, we have spoken with two major TV channels here about the potential collaboration, because both of them are having separate production arm, and we are in discussion with them in terms of promoting their movies to the relevant audience as well. So definitely a lot of opportunities here.
So the market today is UK, no?
I'm sorry?
The market today is UK.
For the especially for the film promotion part, yes, that's basically we're trying to actually attract the business clients. But obviously, the user base is global. We have users basically from in the States, Brazil, China, India, Turkey, and so on.
How do you scale? What's your plan to scale?
The plan to scale is once again focused on this search engine optimization and app store optimization, as well as ads. By implementing them correctly, we are increasing our user base. Once by increasing the user base, we gain additional interest from the paying clients, and that's basically and
the paid clients snowball and the flywheel turns. You mentioned, Max, and when you hinted at the back catalogue of British produced and Western produced movies and television, so there's a colossal back catalogue. We're aware that only 5% of what's produced actually gets out there. So we think that if you can target more in a more planned and a more guaranteed return way, that we can then backfill a lot of those genres that currently aren't seen. A bit like the reason why BritBox was invented, was to get more of that heritage out there into the movie watching community.
Yeah, there are too many movies, even well done, unknown. Nobody watches.
Exactly. And the problem is because they don't know how to target them accurately. You cannot target them to everywhere because the budget is limited. But with existence of platforms such as Raters, even with limited budget, you can allocate them correctly in such a way that you get in front of the audience that you want to.
So there is the independent movie network in the UK has many niches amongst it. And we believe that if we can get in amongst that community and convert one chain at a time, that we can convince them that the moviegoers who are going into the independent cinemas today would watch even more in many different channels if that proposition was pushed to them.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, London is perfect for this. This is the best test you can have is in London.
And the market is obviously huge. Like 55 billion is spent every year on promotional digital products. Large part of it's coming from big games.
I do agree. I've been acting when I was young, and I do agree that a lot of movie, they can have a good commercial, but they can't reach the audience at all. They just can't get out. That's why they die.
Well, it's a bit like historically, to get a movie out, you needed to know a man, and that man had a white face and needed to like you.
Yes, true.
But a bit like the sort of removal of the decision maker in music has allowed a much wider network of music to get out there. The same can happen with movies.
I agree. There are quite a few platforms in the music as well. They're trying to do this, take away the middleman who almost decide everything. There is nothing. He's the one in charge, or decide who is going to be the next star, regardless. There is regardless. What's the vision? What's the vision? You had to have your vision. No Malachy. Malachy's giving you money. You had to have your vision. What's your vision?
So the vision is ultimately to become their recommendation platform for digital products. So every time you want to watch a movie or read a book or video game, you go to Raters, and from then basically that's where your journey starts, and in most cases ends as well.
Well, you say something very interesting now. Books.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Are you doing the same on books?
It's actually the same. So look, basically the algorithms that we have patented, it's a long paper, I think it's like 56 pages. So basically what it does, it analyzes based on your existing say movies that you have rated or liked, where analyzing different parameters such as genres, director, country of production, language, and so on, right? And based on that, we can estimate what kind of movies you will like going forward. Now, the beauty of this algorithm is that it can be applied to all other industries as well. So with video games and ebooks, so the way it works, imagine that for the books, you just replace in this calculation, you replace the film director with book author.
Okay.
And like genre remains as a genre and so on. And then you have publisher and other different variables, right? So you can apply absolutely the same algorithms to predict what other books you might like based on what you have read so far.
What about the language?
Well, at the moment, we have 37 languages on the platform. And that's actually another our unique selling point, not for the businesses, but for the users. So if you if I go on the platform and I write a review, I don't know, in Turkish, for example, then and if we're friends, you open the app and you see my review in English. And if you decide to comment on it in English, I, on my hand, will see it in Turkish. So we actually eliminated all the boundaries or the language boundaries between people. So by doing so, we're creating a truly global community where everyone can understand what's happening on the platform.
So the language is translated?
Yes, absolutely. Everything is translated.
That's very smart. You are raising 1 million now?
Yes.
This is for a seed round.
We call it late seed. Although by company stage, it's probably called something to Series A, but always the amount doesn't qualify as Series A, so we call it late seed. Yes.
Seed early. we call.
Yeah.
What is important?
Obviously.
How are you going to use the funds for this round?
So 35% is allocated to the product development, right? So this is like this platform. So this business model is called perpetual beta. Even for Facebook, says the project is never done. There's always something that you can add to the platform to make it better and better, right? So we'll obviously have to continue to work on the product because that's actually what we're selling at the end of the day. We will integrate the video games into it. So on your feed, except for movies, you will be also able to see the video games. So that will be a huge step forward. Another thing for development is development of ads manager. So I'm not sure whether you have ever run campaigns on Facebook or Instagram, but the way you do it, basically you go in there, you say, okay, I want to promote this movie to this kind of audience in this region. Here's my budget. Okay, go ahead, right? So we are basically building the client-facing side of our platform where they can, without our interference, can go there and start promoting their films. So that's around 35% of the budget. 33% will be spent on marketing. As I mentioned, a lot will be spent on search engine optimization and app store optimization specialists, because that's what we're focusing on. So mainly there is salaries to these people, which will bring us additional users, which, as we mentioned, will bring us additional clients and hence increase revenue. So obviously some operations cost, as well as for the patent, what we are aiming to do this summer is to, so last year we have patented our algorithms just in the US. Obviously, as you can imagine, the lawyer fees are pretty hefty, especially in such a niche. But we definitely want to protect our intellectual property worldwide, which we have to do this year. And the reason for why we put so much attention to it is twofold. Firstly, we are diversifying our risks, so we are not entirely dependent on our user base as an asset. We also have something more tangible, if you will, which we can rely. And on the other hand, it actually it creates a value of us in front of the strategic investors, which is our plan A for the exit strategy. If someone like, it can be Netflix or PlayStation or any other major player who has a digital content or has or promotes a digital content would be interested in buying us using our algorithms. A particular example here, if I have a second here. So our lawyers here in the UK, they're called Mathis and Squire. So in early 2000s, they have done a similar thing for a platform called Film Love, or Love Film. I always consider, I think it's Love Film, right? So what they have done is they also patented their machine learning algorithms for like similar purposes. And then I think 5 years later, they were bought by Amazon, and they have based Amazon Prime Video on top of them. So they have built it. So it was like strategic acquisition. And that's where we think we can add a lot of value to the existing players, because we're covering part in which they are not focusing.
That's your exit strategy. This question is for Malachy. Why did you invest in REITs?
Well, I could say all of the below, but I list a few things. One, I like the team. I liked how well prepared they are when they first pitched me. They were right across all the details. They understood their cost to acquire all their customers right down to the penny. They had a thoroughly prepared model that explained where my money was going. And in the time that I've been involved in the business, they have delivered on more on what I asked them to do.
You're moving to the seed. Malachy is an angel, so you're going to touch now the venture capital sector. So what's your message to them? How do they exit? Because Malachy can stay even for 10 years. He's an angel. There is money. The venture, they need to get the money back one day.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, totally understand.
What's the exit strategy? And maybe Malachy is like, he wants to know. Get the money back. What's the exit strategy in 5 years' time? Maybe look, the average time for them venture capitalists.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So again, look, this is corporate finance 101. So the exit strategies are, there's like not much that they can done, right? First is exit. Obviously, that's the ideal case, exit to a strategic buyer. So that which I have also mentioned. Second option, it would be partial or full cash out during the next fundraising rounds, obviously, because, well, in order to grow aggressively, we cannot be fueling ourselves with the existing revenue channels. We have to go out and ask for additional money. So during these rounds, which is obviously pretty common, some investors might decide to sell part of their stakes and kind of cash it out or transfer to somewhere else. The third one is obviously the IPO. A bit quite longer road until there, but we have some ideas. It probably will not be UK because it's very restricted and the tech sector is not very much present here. If that happens, that's the problem will be US.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
It's getting better. So they now finally they removed this. They allowed the dual class shares on the market, so you can basically have voting and non-voting, which I think was one of the main kind of obstacle for founders to share additional shares because they don't want to lose control. Yeah, and well, in general, basically, as a trend is that there's more money being poured into the tech sector at the moment by VCs, but obviously it's a very long road from the States. But let's see where it goes. One way or another, we'll find the right exit strategy.
Malachy, Rasim, thank you so much for coming to BizTalk. It's been a very great pleasure for me.
Thank you. Thank you, Max.
Thanks, Max. Lovely to talk to you.
My pleasure. Take care.